There comes a moment in every age when something within us stirs, a knowing that the ordinary rhythm of life has shifted. You can't quite explain it, but you can feel it. It's as if the air itself carries a different weight, a vibration that hums through your bones. You wake up in the morning, and there's a quiet awareness that something greater is unfolding, something that the eyes cannot see, but the spirit cannot ignore. That's what it means when the inner alarm has sounded. It's not a sound you hear in the world, it's one that resonates deep within the soul. The last rapture sign isn't always written in the sky or shouted through thunder. Sometimes it's whispered in the stillness of your own heart. You begin to notice things differently. The same sunset feels heavier with meaning. The same conversations that once distracted you now seem empty. It's as if your spirit has turned up the volume, and what you used to tolerate no longer fits the vibration you're being called to. This awakening beyond sight isn't about fear. It's not about running from the world, but rising above it. It's a realization that life is not random, that the events unfolding globally, the chaos, the division, is the sudden acceleration of time. All of it is moving in divine rhythm. Something is aligning, and those who are tuned to that frequency can sense it. You can feel the pulse of prophecy in motion. You can feel heaven getting closer, not as a location, but as a vibration. The physical world begins to lose its grip when your spirit begins to awaken. You start to crave clarity, truth, and purpose more than comfort. You stop asking, what is happening out there, and begin asking, what is awakening in me? Because the last sign, if though visible in the world, is only meaningful when it is received by the Spirit. Many people are waiting for physical proof. A voice from the clouds, a cosmic event, is a worldwide miracle, but the most profound signs rarely arrive that way. The final signs of spiritual transition are internal. They happen in the quiet transformation of the heart. When the inner alarm rings, it's because your higher consciousness recognizes the shift long before your mind understands it. You begin to feel an urgency that can't be explained, a deep pull toward aligning your thoughts with eternity. You may find yourself letting go of people, habits, or desires that no longer match the vibration of where you're going. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. The universe is rearranging itself to lift you out of distraction and into awareness. This moment of awakening is not for the faint of heart. It demands courage. The courage to question the noise, to silence the world long enough to hear what the divine is speaking to your soul. The inner alarm doesn't ring for everyone at once. It rings for those who are ready to awaken, those whose time of awareness has come. The rapture begins inside you, in that decision to no longer lie asleep. The great shift is not about escape, it's about emergence. The energy of this awakening pulls you upward, out of fear, out of confusion, and into light. Every thought, every emotion, every heartbeat begins to align with something higher. It's as if heaven is calling your name, not with words, but with frequency, pulling you toward the realization that you were never meant to merely survive, you were meant to ascend. When the inner alarm sounds, it's not chaos, it's clarity. It's the signal that your consciousness has stepped into divine timing. You feel it in your spirit before you see it in your circumstances. The signs in the world only confirm what your heart already knows. That knowing is sacred. It tells you that you're not crazy, that the trembling you feel within your soul is not anxiety, it's activation. Something eternal is moving through you. It's the moment when eternity brushes against time and wakes you up to what's real. The world may still look the same, but you are not the same. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think differently, is because you've tasted awareness and you can't go back to sleep, is every part of your being starts to realign with the truth that something monumental is approaching. And though others may not yet feel it, your spirit already stands at the threshold, fully awake, fully aware, and fully alive in the realization that the final sign has already been spoken, not through the sky, but through the awakening inside your soul. There is a sacred stillness that sweeps across the earth before great change arrives. It's not the absence of movement, it's the gathering of divine energy. The world feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for something unseen yet deeply felt. You look around, and everything seems to continue as normal. People working, cities humming, conversations filling the air, but underneath that surface rhythm, there's a deeper vibration building. It's the silence before the trumpet, a divine pause where heaven and earth align in quiet synchronization. You can sense that the spiritual atmosphere is shifting not through noise or chaos, but through stillness. That stillness is preparation. It's the moment when the Creator whispers, "Be ready," not in the thunder of words, but in the language of intuition, in the tug of awareness, in the restlessness that stirs within the soul. This silence is not emptiness, it is fullness waiting to be revealed. It is the calm before revelation, the hush before awakening. Every great movement of destiny begins with silence, because silence carries the weight of creation. Before every sunrise, the sky is still. Before every birth, there is a moment of breathless waiting. The same is true now. The calm that covers the earth is not a lull in activity. It is a shift in consciousness. It's as though time itself has slowed just enough for us to notice what we've been too distracted to see. The trumpet has not yet sounded in the sky, but it has already begun to echo in the hearts of those who are listening. The sound of awakening begins in the quiet spaces where faith learns to breathe and fear begins to dissolve. In this sacred silence, humanity is being sifted. The noise of the world, its fears, its distractions, its endless chase for validation, is losing its power. People are beginning to feel the emptiness of things that once satisfied them. The pursuits that once seemed important now feel hollow. There's an unexplainable longing rising in the hearts of many. A hunger for truth, for clarity, for something eternal. That longing is the soul's recognition that a shift is taking place. It's heaven's way of calling your attention inward, asking you to awaken before the trumpet sounds in the natural world. The silence before the trumpet is a gift. It gives you space to align your spirit with divine timing, to cleanse your thoughts, to prepare your heart. You are being invited into awareness, into readiness, into the consciousness of eternity. What feels like stillness is actually the unseen movement of destiny. It is the invisible rearranging of divine order. Every soul, every life, every circumstance is being positioned. The spiritual frequency of the world is changing, and those who are sensitive can feel the pull of something higher. This isn't just a shift in the outer world, it's a shift within consciousness itself. You may notice your thoughts changing, your priorities shifting, your heart softening in ways you can't quite explain. That's not random. That's the spiritual atmosphere preparing you to rise. The silence is not a delay, it's alignment. Heaven doesn't rush, it prepares. And those who recognize the silence will know it's time to listen, to center themselves, to tune their hearts to the sound that's coming. In moments like these, awareness becomes your greatest tool. When you stop fighting the stillness and begin to feel it, you start to hear what can't be spoken. The trumpet of awakening doesn't always begin with sound. It begins with recognition. It begins when you realize that the pause in your life, the sudden quiet, the unusual stillness, is not coincidence, it's calling. Is, something divine is being orchestrated and you are part of it. This is the silence that separates distraction from destiny, illusion from truth. It's the space where the soul can finally hear what heaven has been trying to say all along. The silence before the trumpet isn't punishment or uncertainty, it's mercy. It's the universe giving every heart a chance to awaken before the great sound breaks through the skies. It's the final breath before the music of eternity begins. There is an urgency in the air that cannot be dismissed. It moves quietly but powerfully, stirring something deep within the human spirit. The feeling that time is accelerating is not an illusion, it's awareness. The rhythm of the world has changed, and the divine clock has entered its final moments. Every event, every disruption, every revelation unfolding in our world is part of a greater alignment. Heaven's countdown has begun. It is not a countdown of fear or destruction, but of awakening and preparation. The call is no longer distant, it's personal, intimate, and direct. It is speaking to the deepest part of your soul, reminding you that this is the hour to align your life with truth, to rise above confusion, and to live consciously aware of eternity. This alignment is not forced, it's chosen. The invitation of this hour is for every soul to recognize that the time for hesitation is over. We have been given countless moments to turn inward, to wake up, to correct our path, but now the pace of divine timing is increasing. The urgency you feel is not anxiety, it's spiritual gravity. It's heaven pulling you into purpose. You might notice how quickly things are shifting in your life, relationships changing, opportunities closing, others opening without warning. These aren't coincidences, they're divine rearrangements. The universe is positioning you where your spirit belongs. Every thought and decision now carries weight. Because we are no longer living in the casual moments of spiritual history. The signs are converging, and your awareness is the key that determines your alignment with what's coming next. The countdown isn't measured in seconds, it's measured in choices. Every time you choose faith over fear, you align yourself with the eternal. Every time you act with integrity instead of impulse, you draw closer to divine order. Every time you surrender your need for control and trust the higher plan, you synchronize with heaven's rhythm. The urgency you feel in this season is not meant to frighten you, it's meant to awaken you. It's a call to step into your role in the grand design. We are not spectators in this moment of time. We are participants in a divine transition. What you think, what you say, what you believe, it all matters now more than ever. Because when heaven begins to move, every soul that's willing to align will feel the pull to rise. This is not a time for comfort, it's a time for clarity. The world is full of noise, deception, and distraction, but beneath it all is a divine signal calling for alignment. You can feel it in your spirit like a heartbeat that doesn't belong to your body. It reminds you that you are eternal, that your time here has purpose, and that your preparation determines your elevation. When heaven's countdown begins, the old structures that once felt stable start to shake. Systems fail, illusions crumble, and truth begins to surface. It's not chaos, it's cleansing. The countdown exposes everything that's false, so only what's real can remain. This is why you must align now, not later. The longer you wait, the stronger the pull will become. And those resisting the shift will feel the tension of separation between what's temporary and what's eternal. Alignment is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about making your inner world match the vibration of divine truth. It's about letting go of what no longer serves your growth and embracing what elevates your soul. The countdown has begun, and that means grace is still available. Every new dawn, every breath, every moment of awareness is an opportunity to align. You are not being asked to understand every mystery, only to respond to what your spirit already knows. The signs around you are not meant to alarm, they're meant to prepare. Each revelation is another tick in the countdown, another signal that the time for spiritual hesitation has ended. Heaven is ready, and now it's humanity's turn to rise into readiness. The call to align is not coming from the outside world, it's rising from within you, pulling you toward destiny, reminding you that this moment is sacred, that time is no longer standing still, and that the divine plan is unfolding even now, in the quiet urgency of your awakening heart. The world has become a stage of dazzling lights and distractions, where illusion often dresses itself as truth and confusion disguises itself as wisdom. Everywhere you look, there are voices promising certainty, systems offering comfort, and movements demanding allegiance, yet deep within, the soul knows that not everything seen is real. The final sign emerging in this hour is the unveiling of illusion, the great separation between what is temporary and what is eternal. The light is exposing what has been hidden in shadows for far too long. The illusion of control, of safety in material possessions, of satisfaction and external success, is starting to dissolve. People are beginning to feel the emptiness behind their achievements, the hollowness behind their routines, and the restlessness that can no longer be quieted by distraction. It's not failure, it's awakening. When truth begins to shine, illusion loses its grip, and the soul starts to see beyond the surface of the world. The illusion of this age has been carefully built, layer upon layer, convincing humanity that fulfillment comes from what can be touched, owned, or seen. It promises security and wealth, identity and status, and happiness and validation. But as this light of revelation intensifies, those illusions begin to shatter. What once felt solid now feels uncertain. What once looked powerful now appears fragile. That's the moment truth steps forward, quiet, pure, unshakable. The final sign is not only in the heavens, it's in this great unveiling on earth. As people awaken to what's real and what's been deception all along, the world teaches that light and illusion are the same thing, that if something glows brightly enough, it must be good, but spiritual sight reveals the difference. True light brings peace, illusion brings exhaustion. True light awakens the soul, illusion numbs it. The real battle is not between people, nations, or ideologies. It's between truth and illusion within the mind and heart of every human being. You can feel it when your thoughts begin to question the things you once accepted without doubt. You sense it when you realize that the comfort of lies no longer satisfies the hunger for truth. This battle is invisible, but its effects are everywhere. People are feeling torn between the world's narrative and the quiet knowing within their spirit. That tension is sacred. It's the sound of truth knocking at the door of consciousness. The light of awakening doesn't come to destroy, it comes to reveal. It shows you what cannot stand so that what's eternal can remain. The more you see through illusion, the more you understand that reality is not found in possessions or appearances, but in awareness, in connection with something higher than the self. Illusion has one goal, to keep you asleep. It thrives in distraction, in endless business, in emotional chaos that prevents reflection. But the light of revelation calls you back to stillness. It reminds you that you are more than what you've been conditioned to believe. You are not defined by your mistakes, your possessions, or your fears. You are spirit clothed in experience, awakening to its origin. The illusion tells you to seek light outside, truth tells you to find it within. And as the final sign unfolds, that inner light grows stronger, illuminating everything false until nothing remains hidden. It is uncomfortable at first because the truth demands release of attachment, of dependency, of false identities that no longer resonate with who you are becoming. The illusions crumble not to punish you, but to free you. Every illusion that fades away makes space for truth to enter. Every false comfort that breaks apart becomes an opportunity for authentic faith to take root. This is the purification of perception, the moment where your inner sight begins to align with divine vision. The light is no longer something distant in the sky. It's within you, is expanding, clarifying, guiding. It teaches you that real safety is not in walls or wealth, but in awareness of truth. This real peace is not found in the absence of struggle, but in the presence of understanding. And though the world continues to chase illusion, the awakened soul no longer participates in that chase. It steps back, observes, and recognizes the difference between what appears bright and what truly shines. When you see clearly, the illusions lose their hold, and the truth, steady, timeless, and radiant, becomes the only light that guides your way through a world built on shadows. Transformation before departure is not an event that happens in the sky. It is a process that begins within the depths of your being. Long before the trumpet sounds or the heavens open, the true preparation begins in the silent chambers of the soul. Every awakening starts as an inner shift, a subtle change in how you perceive yourself, the world, and the divine purpose that holds everything together. The last sign is not only about what is coming, but about who you are becoming. The transformation taking place now is refining the spirit, reshaping the heart, and preparing the mind for elevation. It is not an escape from the world, it is a transcending of its limits. Those who are rising are not leaving because they fear what's below, they're ascending because they've outgrown it. This is the final inner work, the work of surrender, purification, and spiritual alignment that allows you to meet eternity with clarity instead of confusion. This transformation begins when awareness pierces through the fog of habit. You start to notice that the things which once consumed your attention no longer carry the same importance. The desires that once ruled your heart begin to lose their power. It's not because you've become indifferent. It's because your spirit is shifting to a higher vibration. The same conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. The same pursuits that once excited you now feel heavy. You begin to see life differently, not through the lens of survival, but through the lens of purpose. That change is sacred. It's not a loss, it's preparation. The universe is not taking things from you, it's clearing space for what aligns with your next level of being. Transformation requires release, and release is never comfortable. But without it, there can be no rising. The old self must dissolve so the true self can emerge. Every trial, every disappointment every moment of pressure you've faced is part of that transformation. It's not random pain, it's refinement. The struggles you've endured were never meant to break you. They were meant to polish your faith until it shines with unshakable clarity. When life starts pressing on all sides, it's because you are being shaped. Like gold in the fire, your essence is being purified. You are shedding layers of fear, pride, and limitation. You are learning to let go of control and trust the process. That's what prepares you for the higher realm. The ability to surrender and yet remain strong, to be still and yet full of power. The final transformation is the alignment of your inner world with divine order, where your thoughts no longer argue with truth, and your emotions no longer rebel against peace. You begin to live from a place of still confidence, knowing that you are no longer who you were, even if the world has yet to see it. This transformation is not about perfection, it's about evolution. It's the gradual unfolding of your divine nature. Every act of forgiveness, every moment of faith, is every surrender of ego draws you closer to your ascended state. You are not waiting for the rapture to begin. It has already begun within you. The more your spirit aligns with truth, the lighter you become, not in body but in energy. You start to live above fear, above bitterness, above division. You stop reacting to the world and begin responding to the divine rhythm inside you. This is spiritual ascension in motion. The lifting of consciousness before the lifting of form. The signs around you are only reflections of the transformation already happening inside countless hearts across the world. Something eternal is stirring, calling every soul to rise, to let go, to prepare. The transformation before departure is not meant to be rushed. It unfolds in divine timing, each layer revealed as you are ready to face it. There are moments of struggle where your faith feels fragile, and moments of illumination where you sense eternity touching your thoughts. Both are necessary. Every revelation requires the letting go of an illusion. Every awakening demands the death of an old mindset. The soul that resists change delays its own rising, but the one that embraces transformation becomes light itself. The true sign that you are being prepared is not in visions or dreams. It is in the growing peace within your heart, even amid chaos. It's in the quiet certainty that you are being guided, refined, and elevated for something far greater than you can yet comprehend. The last sign is not only a message in the heavens, it's a reflection in your soul, showing you that you are already becoming what you were always meant to be. Faith has always been the final door between the visible and the invisible, between what is known and what is eternal. It is the one thing that cannot be faked because it is not built on proof. It is born from revelation. As the last sign unfolds, this door is opening wider than ever before, inviting every soul to step beyond logic, beyond comfort, and into trust. This is the moment where belief is no longer just an idea. It becomes a way of existence. The world is trembling with uncertainty, and human reasoning has reached its limits. Knowledge alone cannot hold the soul steady anymore. Only faith can do that. Faith is not blindness. It is divine sight. It is the ability to see with the heart what the eyes cannot perceive. It's that quiet assurance that even when everything around you shakes, something unshakable holds you from within. This is the hour when faith is being tested, purified, and strengthened. Many have spoken of it, preached about it, sung about it, but few have had to truly live by it. Now, that moment has come. The systems people once trusted are faltering. The things that gave them a sense of stability, governments, economies, relationships, technology, are showing cracks. And in the midst of that unraveling, the Spirit is being invited to stand on what cannot be seen. This is the essence of the final door. To walk through it, you must be willing to let go of control and choose trust, even when the mind demands evidence. Faith is not waiting for proof. It's stepping into motion before the world confirms your direction. It's believing that the unseen hand guiding you will never let you fall. Every act of faith rewrites your vibration. When you choose trust over doubt, you align yourself with divine reality. You become a participant in creation, not just an observer. The door of faith doesn't open with emotion, it opens with decision. It requires you to declare, I believe, even when you feel nothing, even when you see nothing. That declaration shifts the atmosphere around you. It tells the universe that you are no longer bound by the limitations of circumstance. Faith transforms the ordinary into sacred ground. What you once called coincidence becomes confirmation. What once seemed uncertain begins to make sense in divine timing. The more you trust, the clearer the path becomes, because faith doesn't create reality, it reveals it. is there is a quiet strength that comes when faith becomes your foundation. The chaos of the world no longer dictates your peace. You stop looking for signs in the noise of headlines and begin to hear the whispers of assurance within your own soul. The final door of faith isn't about escaping the world, it's about transcending it. It's about living in such alignment with divine purpose that fear loses its ability to control you. You begin to see that every storm, every delay, every unanswered prayer was not rejection, it was redirection. Each moment of waiting was preparation for deeper trust. And as your faith matures, you stop needing to know the outcome. You simply rest in the knowing that what's meant for you will find you in perfect timing. The final sign reveals that faith is no longer optional, it is essential. It's the bridge between the human and the divine. Without it, the soul drifts. With it, the soul ascends. Faith gives you the strength to face uncertainty with confidence, to look into the unknown and feel peace instead of fear. It teaches you that belief itself is power, that the unseen is more real than the visible. In these closing moments of time, the world is dividing not by religion or philosophy, but by energy, by belief and unbelief, by those who trust and those who tremble. Every choice you make now either strengthens or weakens that trust. Each time you respond with faith, the door opens a little wider, revealing light where there was once shadow. Faith has always been the key to transcendence. It does not argue with doubt. It rises above it. It does not wait for validation. It creates it. The last sign appearing before us is not a spectacle in the heavens, but an awakening within the heart, calling every believer to rise in certainty when the world is drowning in confusion. Faith is the vibration that aligns you with eternity, the unseen power that turns chaos into clarity. When you live by faith, you stop chasing proof and start walking in revelation. The unseen becomes more real than the visible, and your heart becomes the compass that guides you toward what cannot be shaken. In this final hour, as the last door opens, faith is the invitation, an open passage for those who dare to believe beyond sight, to trust beyond logic, and to walk into eternity guided only by the light within.